Before we start, I should warn you that what you are going to see is something I'm afraid to share, of course. I'm going to share with you one of my earliest design work. It was in, I think, 2013 when I just started doing design. And it was a really, really bad design. uh, Please close your eyes. So this is one of my earliest design work that I did. It was mainly in Arabic, but I only translate the text for you so you can understand what I was designing. And as you can see, the color is a mess. The text is I don't know what I was thinking about. You can see my name is all over the place. I have my name here. I have my last name here. I have my signature here. I don't know what this is about. The picture, I don't know why I choose this picture. I don't know why I make this color like green and over it like red. Wow, that's that's really bad. Yes, some of you said that this gives me hope. Yeah, of course. We all started as really bad designers, and I'm one of the people that starts really bad. And uh, you can think how much I was happy while doing this. It was I was really happy and proud of doing this because at that time what I was doing is just designing for myself. I'm trying to fulfill my ego. I'm thinking like I'm a designer, and I'm trying to be a designer by seeing the results, by like changing the color, by using images. So I don't know what design is about at that time. I don't know what is the purpose of the thing that I'm doing. I believe it was this post was about something I want to share with my friend in social media. So this is maybe the purpose. But as you can say, it's a really, really bad design. And this is the one thing that I want to start with. Uh, just to give you that believe in yourself that even if you are doing a really bad design, this is not the end of the world. You just need to keep doing what you are doing. You just need to keep learning about design in order to make really good design. And the only way you can do great design is by making a lot of bad design. So what I want you to do if you are watching us right now is to take your phone and maybe picture this work and tag me in Instagram or something. I want all the people to know that this is my one of my earliest design work. And I want to give that chance to other people to know that in order to believe in themselves that they can do a really good design in the future. Most of you already took like a screenshot. Good, that's good. Okay, so as I said, what do you think of my design? Please write anything in the comments. I will be glad to see what what you can say about my design. And did you get the chance to do something like this? Or are you in the phase of doing something like this? I want to hear from you guys what you're thinking. One of the things also that I want to give you as a lesson is that you should not compare your beginning to someone else's middle. I do this mistake a lot, and I'm regretting myself for doing that. uh, I was comparing myself. I have maybe 2 3 days in the design field, and I'm comparing myself with people that have 3 years, 5 years of designing. So this is a really bad thing to do, and it will decrease your motivation to do work. It will like makes you sad because you can't achieve the same result they had. So what I want you to do is always try to compare yourself with the people in the same level you are. Or if you are getting inspired from some of the really good designers, try to dig deep to see their really old design in order to compare with it. So you can feel that all the designers had a moment of time when they do lots of really bad work. So if you can see the design that I make here, whatever I'm designing here is I'm using only this element, and you can see that on one or two of my posts. I'm using text, I'm using color, I'm using shapes, I'm using images, and I'm using also space. So I'm making a lot of decision. I'm making like I'm using only these elements, but I'm making the decision. I want to make this red, I want to make this green. And there is a lot of decisions that's involved here. Uh, and whatever tool I'm using, I was using maybe Paint at that time, I can't remember. And whatever tool you are using, Photoshop, Figma, InVision, Illustrator, it contains only this element. You have the power to use only this element and to mix them in order to create what you want in your design. So design is all about like making decision in this element. If you can make the good decision, you can make a good design. If you only make bad decisions, it's leads to bad design. So if and we know that every design has a purpose. We don't do design just because we want to do design. Every piece of design has a purpose. I want to make a carousel for social media. I know what I want to share with the people. I know what is the purpose of the design that I'm making. So here this design, I don't know what is the purpose that I had at that time, but I believe what I want is to show to myself that I'm capable of doing something even if it's bad. So before you even start on doing any design, you should identify the purpose that you want from that design. I don't know, you want to communicate an idea with the people, you want to share an opinion using that design, you want to help people or to solve a particular problem that they have. So always we have problem and we try to solve that using a design. And to achieve that purpose, we take a lot of decisions. Most of them like involved in the elements I already talked about, the text, the images. I'm talking only about the visual design. I'm not talking on the other type of design, because with this type we use other element than that. So decisions should be aligned with the purpose we have in mind. And if it's not aligned with what we want as a purpose, that leads to a really bad design, because there is no like um, power of our design if it's not here to solve that purpose, to solve that problem. So the decision includes like what colors I should use, what fonts I should use, what sizes, is it big, is it small, the space, how many amount of space I should give between elements. And we have also the copy, how to write the sentence, should I write it this way or this way, and images also, how can I choose good images, is this a good image or not. So all we do is just decisions. So when we have bad decisions, we have bad design, of course. And we can change just a little bit on the decision we make, and we can turn that bad design into a really good design. Simple, easy to read, and has something that all the good design had is emotion part. It adds something to you. It makes you feel something. So from this to this, all I did is that I changed the decision that I made. I changed the decision in color, in images, in space, and in all the factors that I have. And what I changed is this element, as I said. So that's the same thing happen in all other like design field: website design, apps design, poster design. You know the purpose, you make the decision that will lead you to that same purpose, and you are using the same elements. So it's the same mindset with different purpose. In apps design, you want to solve a problem for a particular type of user while using your app. So you should know what is the purpose of the app you are making, what are the problems that people have, and then how you can use this element in order to help them achieve what they want or solve their problem. So today I want to share with you how you can make good decision, how you can find the purpose in your design, and how you can make a really good design just by making really good decisions. So are you happy for that? I want to hear that from all of you. Yes, cool. So let's start by font. One of the problems that I see most of the people do is that they don't choose the right font for their design. I have maybe a task to do a design, let's say a poster, and I want to communicate a particular idea, and they choose the font just I don't know, just just because they love it, just because they feel it's a good choice, but they don't even put what they want, what is the purpose from the design. So they should align it with the choice they made. And I see a lot of people doing this mistake. So in this part we are going to learn how to make a really good choice in font in order to align that with our purpose of design. So I have one rule in every decision I want to share with you in this presentation. We're going to start first by the font. This is one rule. If you can use it every time you want to choose a font, you will be making a perfect choice for your font. So whenever you are choosing a font, try to think of what are the feeling that you want to give to the people. What are the feeling that you want your design to convey? I don't know. I want to create a poster. I want to make people feel strong. Like it's a poster about gym and about muscles, and I want people to feel really strong. So I'm going to use that feeling in order to communicate the same, in order to choose a font that's communicate the same feeling. So you have to use always this rule if you want to choose the right font for you. And I'm going to share a lot of example about that. So if you are making a design that like send the soft and friendly feeling, you can use a type of typeface that maybe had a rounded shape that receive or send that kind of feeling that it's soft and friendly. And one of them is Nunito, one of the famous font in this category. And there is a lot of font. One thing that you can use in order to search for this font is all of them are rounded. The shape is rounded, and that shape receive a soft and friendly feeling to the people. And you can see here in this design have this pillow, and it should receive or send the soft and friendly feeling. And the typeface they are using is a typeface with rounded like corners, and the shape is really friendly and soft. And if you want to have a classic and reliable feeling, you can use some serif fonts, like GT, Alpine, Fine. And these are really great fonts in order to communicate a classic and reliable fonts. We have a lot of serif fonts. All of them can communicate this feeling: classic, I don't know, old, reliable. So you need to identify the feeling. You need to use that feeling in order to choose the font that you want. And if it's classic, I highly recommend to use something that has the serif. If you want something elegant and attractive, something for females, something, I don't know, that's young and female, you can use this elegant and attractive font with the curves, and one of them is Grand Hotel. And you can see in this example, the feeling that I'm getting is fresh, is elegant, is attractive, and they are using a really good choice in font in order to communicate that. We have another example, like something masculine and really bold. And if you want to send us feeling or convey that feeling, you can use some typeface like Impact with a really bold or maybe condensed type of font, and it will gives that feeling. Also, we have the childish and playful feeling. You can use our for all the designer, like the hated font Comic Sans MS. Most of the people think that it's a really bad choice, but it had it has some of the area when it's the best choice for you as a font. And this is one of the area you can use it. It conveys that feeling. It's really good for children books. And you can see that in almost all the time if you have the chance to see some of these books. So if you want to to convey that feeling, you can use some of this font. But at the other hand, in the other hand, we have some font that doesn't convey any feeling. And one of them is the font that I'm using in this slide. So I don't want to convey any feeling. I want you to go directly to the text. I'm adding like the power, I'm adding it over the text. I'm not giving it any feeling, maybe that can change the way you think of the text that I'm sharing with you. I want you only to focus on the text, and that's why I'm choosing this font. It's neutral. It's something that add the power on the text and not on itself or on the shape of the font. And you can use this maybe if you are designing something that's, I don't know, you don't want to convey any feeling. I use this font almost all the time when I'm creating an app or a website that has a lot of functional. So I don't want, there is no feeling here. There is only task that people can do. So I'm removing this part of feeling, and you can do the same whenever you are designing something that it doesn't receive, it doesn't send any feelings. So the rule here is that we identify the feeling that we want to send it to the people, and then we use font in order to communicate the same thing. And remember that when you change the font, you are changing the feeling that gives to the people. Here we have the same font with the same, we have the same color with the same message, but with different fonts, the message is different here. So you can see that the power of the font here. So we can start with this exercise first. It's just studying exercise, as I call it. You can study like a pro. I believe that's one of the great way you can improve your design is by studying it. Most of the people, whenever they finish a design, they share it somewhere and they forgot about it, and they think, what's next? What should I design after that? um, that's not a really good way if you want to improve your design. You should, like, whenever you finish something, you should study it and see how you can improve it. So I want you to take something you already designed and you write the purpose of that design, and then after that you identify the feeling that your design like should evoke. What are the feeling that you want to add in your design? And you should ask yourself, do the fonts like I choose like evoke the same feeling that I want or not? And based on the question, see what you can change and use this example in order to see what type of emotion is aligned with the design you have. So this is one of the exercise you can have. So as we said, the right font evokes the right feeling, and it should be aligned with the brand. It should be aligned with the way you think and the way you want people to perceive you as a brand, or as a personal brand, or as a company or anything. So we talked about font. We can talk right now about space and other elements. Most of the people like, there is a lot of decision to make in space, and most like don't make a really good decision in this case. I have also one rule for you if you want to communicate space in a best way. And the rule said that space defines the relationship. And uh, that means that the amount of space between each element, between two, three, or any number of elements, should define the relationship between them. And whenever you are designing something and you make two elements or three, try to think, what is the relationship that I want to communicate with two elements, and based on that, try to define an amount of space that communicate the same relationship. We have this example here in Instagram. You can see that in one of my posts in Instagram. And the difference here is that only a small amount of space that we add that can make a really huge change here. My interpretation for this is that when we see these elements with the same amount of space between them, we perceive them as one group. But here we see these elements as a group, and this one is alone as a group of one element. So what this like communicate to us as people who are using uh, Instagram? So when we see this, we think of this as a group and this as a single group, and we perceive it as this kind of action like has something in common, and this element like really different of this. And this is what Instagram designers like trying to give us a reason on why they do that. And for me, what I understand from this is that these elements, whenever a user like do this action, it appear to the owner of the post, or the other people that can see that. When you like a post, and the owner of the post can see who likes the post. When you comment, people can see that you are commenting on this. When you share it, the owner of the post can see it, and maybe other people can see it. But with this, when you save it, you are the only one that knows that you saved the post. And this is one of the things that maybe makes this one only group, and this one as one group. Maybe it's the way we use our phone. They want to make this like really close to our finger, and this one a little bit far. I don't know, but that's like gives me as an idea that this are one group, and this one is only elements like as a group. So just a small amount of space can makes a really difference. And what you should know in space, that you should use the space in order to communicate the relationship between the elements. So also space can add clarity instead of confusion. Like here we have maybe a picture and then the owner of the post. Here, when they are close with the same like amount of space, we don't know which post belong to which user. Is this post belong to this or this? So with the same like space or amount of space, there is no clarity to know which one belong to who. We can add just a little bit of space to make the difference between this and this, and then we make it clear for the people that this user has this post and this post is one of these users. So this is what space does in your design, is that it communicates the relationship, and based on this relationship it adds clarity by combining elements in group and maybe making it far from each other, and we perceive that as they are not group. And space also other really good like factor in your design is that what we call the white space. When you have white space in your design, you are making your design praise, and that has a really good rule, because sometimes when we don't have a lot of white space, that means that our design is cheap. And this is the same thing with my old design. I don't have a lot of space. I have only a lot of elements with a lot of color with different background. There is no space, and that's what like makes me see it as a cheap design, as a cheap design. But when we add white space, that makes it a little bit means luxury. It gives the design a lot of value, and people can navigate in the design very clearly, like without adding a lot of effort in order to identify the elements. So there is not a lot of element that fight for my attention as a reader. There is only one and then two and then three, and this I'm using the size, I'm using the color in order to communicate the importance of the element, not the same as here when every element is fighting for the attention of the reader, and then you can identify which elements you want to see first. So here is a golden rule for you when you are making a space. uh, is when you are communicating the relationship. This is one of the things that I used every time I'm creating websites, I'm creating a carousel for Instagram, is that I try to have like for the content from 60 to 80% of the canvas. And then I left from each side like from 10 to 20 just empty space here, and that like makes you add an importance to your design by using like using the space in a really good way. But here it's really bad. um, um, the moment the poster like start, the elements start, and this is not really good thing if you want to give like importance to the content inside your design. So this rule, you can use it whenever you are designing anything. You can add the rule of the relationship with it, and you can master the space in your design with only these two with these two rules. We have an exercise here. The same thing with font. You seek a design, you write the purpose of the design, and do you think of the space, does it communicate the right relationship that I want to communicate? If not, how you can fix that? So we talked about font, we talked about space, and how you can use space in order to communicate the relationship. We are going to talk about colors and how you can communicate color in an effective way. So I have also one rule for colors. And the rule is you should pick colors from the real world. And I'm not like telling you that you should go to nature or trying to see what are the color there and then try to pick 10 color and use them in your design. I'm talking about real world, real experience, offline experience that we use to be in, and you can use it and add it to a digital life, to your app, to your design, to your website, and also to use some really like real world example, like in image, in a video, and to pick the color and use it in your design. I have this example that I shared in one of my posts. The same color used in Netflix is the same color used in cinema, and you can see that there is just three color, like white, red, and black, and they are like they succeed to communicate mm, mm, really good with only this color, and we feel familiar with the color because we used to see them in the same place, in Netflix with films, movies, and cinema with the same thing. So it's really good to add the same feeling. It makes people feel safe, and this is what you should do in your design. Another example is that one of the things that I use whenever I'm designing something in social media is that I'm using images as a reference to create my color palette. Like in this, I want to make a carousel about what's cooking like teach me about design. And I was thinking, what are the color that I need to add to this post or to use? And from I found this image, and I use it to communicate or to find my color and use them in my carousel. So as you can see, one of the color is green here, one of the color is black, and there is the relationship between the black and the green here is that they goes very well with them. And then I have this soft color that I can use in the background. So as you can see, the communication, the consistency of the color is pretty good here. And you can do that whenever you are designing something. I'm using that all the time, like with the image, with the dark and light posts. And one of the good thing that I use in color is that uh, I'm using to, like, if text is light, I should use a really dark background in order to have a really good contrast, and the text will be easy for the people to see. And if I'm using a light background, I can use the dark color here. And almost every time if the background is dark, the color should be here, or here maybe should be as a dark color, and the text already something like near to this area, so it gives a really good contrast and easy to read. With the light background, maybe you can have the light color here, and then you can have the dark color from here, like and the bottom of here. Like I have this curve here, and then in this side we have the dark color, and this side we have also the dark color, and you use it with a soft color, you can achieve a really good result with that. So this is what I'm using. I'm trying to pick color from a real world references, images from I don't know, real world experience like the cinema, and that gives me a really good result. But I'm always trying to keep my eyes on contrast, so the result is really good, the text is readable, and the combination is good. Uh, we talked about contrast. There is two examples here. Uh, Maybe you like the color, you see it somewhere, but when you do a post about it, or you add it to your design, the contrast is really bad. People can see the text, can't read it. So you need to have, I don't know, the contrast some of the contrast tool that you can measure the contrast, so you can see if it's good or bad. We change the color of the text and it gives amazing results here with a great contrast ratio. So one of the exercises that I like is that you take something you already designed, you write the purpose of the design, and you write like all the color decision you made, and then you write the reasons why you do this. Like here, I choose this color to the text. I'm choosing this color to the background. Why you choose this and why you choose this? Give me the reason why you do that. If you can give me a really good reason, that means that you are making a really good design. And you should ask yourself, what are the results you are getting? Is it good? Is it bad? And you start to question yourself. And this is one of the really good way if you want to improve your design. I don't know if we have a lot of time. Maybe we can do the exercise after that, and because we have many other exercises, we can go through the presentation, and after that we have the exercise. So as I said, the best experience is the experience that match what we are familiar with. Like with the cinema, it's the same color. It gives that feeling of familiarity, which is means something that's safe, that we can trust, and you want to add that to your design. If you want to create a new website or something, sometimes it depends on the brand chosen by the brand designer. While communicating with the clients, you can use the same color in order to communicate a really good thing. But sometimes when you are creating some new thing, you can have a reference for your colors, and you should make sure that the communication between the color, the contrast is good, so you can make some really, so you can have some really good results. So right now we can talk about order and size. Whenever we are designing something, we are making a lot of decisions in size and order. I want this to be big, I want this to be small. So there is a lot of decision in this, like involved in while we are designing something. So one rule I have for size is that size should define the importance and the order. If you think that something is really important, you should give it like I don't know, bigger size, more than the other elements on your design. And if you think that it's something not really important, you can give it a small size. We usually like communicate the important as well with color. If your element is something really important, you should have a high contrast on the elements so people can easily see that. If your element is not really important, you can use like a small amount of contrast between the elements and the background, so people like don't have to see that in the first place. So with size, I have this example here. Like we have some elements and the order is not defined in really good way. So maybe as we used to to read, we read the first line, second line, and then here we go to the end of the text. So I read here, and you will read this at the end. You will read this first, and then you will read this, then this one. So I think you can feel that the order is not the right one. What I can do is that just change the size a little bit, and our eyes can perceive the design in the right order. So this is what I do, is that I make this big so I can people can see it first, and then this one the same size but with a light style of the font, and then this one a little bit smaller, and then smaller one. Now you have the order based on the size. You see this first, and then this, and then this, and then this. Right now all the elements have the same size, which means that all of them has the same importance. No one is has the more importance than the other. So you see the first one as the first. So you want to use the size in order to communicate the right importance and order in your design. We use that everywhere we are when we are designing. Whenever you are designing a website, you want the header to be the first thing that people see. You want the button to be one of the elements that people can see very easily. And we use size to communicate that. We can make the button a little bit big so people can easily identify that. The image is big so people can easily see the image. So whenever you are making decision in size, you should make sure that you are making the right order, or you are creating the right order and the importance of the elements. Here, one of the examples that I see a lot of times, some people like give importance to an important element. And here, if we try to think about what are the elements here, we have the image, we have the arrow, we have the text here. Um, um, we perceive images very fast as any other thing. So we see the image at the first thing. But in my design, I want you to see the title first, because the arrow has no importance here. Um, it's just secondary elements that maybe shows me where I should, that there is other thing in the other slide and I should swipe. So this is one of the things that many people do as a mistake. So what you should do is to give importance to the important element. So this is an important element. You should make it big, and you should make this small in order to communicate the order you want. So one of the exercises I really like is that you take something you already designed, you write the purpose, you think of the sizes, mm, do the sizes communicate the order and the importance should be, and if not, how I can fix that. This is one of the example. You can see only this and you question yourself. I have three elements here. What is the order that I want to create for the people? What are the elements that's important here? And this is the first elements that has the importance here. What you should do is to make it big, and you make the size like communicate the importance you want. This is one of the really good exercise you can do. I'm focusing too much on the exercise, on how you can improve your design, the design that you already make. And this is one of the great way if you want to improve your design, not to make new design, but to study the old design and you try to think how you can improve it. So as we talked in size, one of the really good uh, rules is to assign to each element a number based on the importance, and then you use that to you use the size to create that importance or that visual hierarchy that in your design. And visual hierarchy is basically the flow that the size or the color or the space creates, that makes us see the first element and see the second element based on this factor: the size, the color, the space, and also the motion. So you can use the size in order to communicate a really good importance and order. You create a really good visual hierarchy. So we can talk also about images. And I have one rule also for images. Whenever you are like trying to decide which images to use, which one is good, which one is bad. And the rule says that good images supplement the story and the bad one repeat what has already been said. So whenever you are choosing an image, try to think what is the text that will be with the image, and what is the role of the image when it will be with the text. What are the things that should add? Most of the time it's a feeling, and you should look for an image based on that feeling that you want to add to your text. So here we have a really good image with this meme, and most of the time memes are really good example if you want to see the importance of the images. So we have here What is 2020? What if 2020 is just a trailer to 2021, and you have the image that you can see that adds something, a feeling, a reaction to what the text already said. But with bad image, it's only repeat the same thing that's already said in the text. And you don't want to do that. You want your image to add value. It's not there just to repeat things, it's there to add something. And you can see that on almost every website you use. Try to think about the image. Most of the really popular website like I don't know, like Spotify, like Slack, like Apple websites, and try to think about the images. Almost every time they add something, an emotion, add a meaning. They have a rule there. They don't only like repeat the same thing that's already been said. And you can see here from my example, let's say my earliest one of my earliest design, that I'm not using the images in an effective way, but with this I'm pretty sure that it adds something, emotion, it adds movement. The image is the choices of the image is good. So oh, it keeps, but while you are doing this, you should keep your eyes on the contrast, as I said here, because most of the time when you add text to the image, uh, as a result, sometimes the text is not visible, and you can do something with it in order to make it visible. What I did here is that I duplicate the same image, and I use this same parts duplicated here in order to create that continuous view, so I can make my text here. Now it's clear, it's easy to see, but here the weight background with the weight text is really bad and can't see that. While you are doing that, when you choose the image, please keep it simple. When we just getting started, we want to create something really clever. We want to show people that we can do this and we can do this. Please keep it really simple. The message should be clear, the text and the image should be visible to the people so they can see it very clear. So an exercise here, always take something you already designed, write the purpose of the design, and think of the images. Does it implement the story? Yes, no. If no, how you can fix that. Most of the time you change the image, you keep your eyes on the contrast so you can have a really good result. So the rule here is that you should use images that supplement the story, and you should pay attention to the contrast while keeping things really, really simple. So right now we can talk about typography. While we are designing anything, we are doing a lot of thing in typography, a lot of decisions involved while doing this. And one of the rules that I'm always using and thinking of while designing anything is that type is not a group of beautiful letter, it's a beautiful group of letter. That means that you should give importance to the group and not to each letter of the group. Why that? Because reading is that's a recognition of the shape of word. We don't read letter by letter, but we read word by word. We have all the images of the word we know in our mind, and when we are reading, we just recognize the shape of the word based on the images we have. So you don't have to give importance to each letter. You should give importance to each word, so it makes it very easy for the people to recall the images they have in their minds, so they can like know what is the word they are in front of them. So as I said, we don't read letter by letter, we read word by word. And how you can do that, how we can give importance to the let to the words, not to the letter, is that by fixing the letter spacing. most of the people do something like this, and it will be hard for us as a reader to identify which word starts and ends. We don't, it's hard for us to recall the images we have in mind in order to read very fast. So and other people like decrease the amount of letter spacing between the images, which make it really hard to recognize each word. So one of the things that's really good with the today tools is that they use a default setting, and most of the time you should use only the default setting in order to communicate a really good letter spacing. And you can see here that we don't read letter by letter like typography. We only see typography and read it, and then we jump to the other words. So we only recall the images that we have in our mind in order to read. Another thing is line space, and this is one of the mistakes that a lot of people do, is the amount of space between each line. And you can see that here with a small amount of space, it's really hard to identify each word, and that's really hard for the people to like see that group of letter and to know which word is that. And other people like do a lot or add a lot of space between letters, which leads to a gap between lines, and it's hard to see that. So I have one rule for that. You can use a ratio between 1.3 and 1.6 for the line height uh, of your font size, and you can achieve a really great result for that. So this is basically the thing that's involved with typography, the line space, the letter space, and we have also the number of characters in each line. And most of the time you can play with something between 45 and 75, and this is the good number for the character per line if you want to use it. If you use something really long for the people in order to go to the other line, it's hard for them because they've spent a lot of time trying to focus on this line, so it's hard for our eyes to go to the next line. So you need to make it short for the people. There is no effort posted from our eyes, and easy to go to the next line. So the rule is that we read word by word. You should focus on the word, not the letter. You should help people identify the word, not the letter, and this is uh, the rule here. Let me see if you have any question, and maybe we can continue with the presentation. Okay, any question? So I have a question. Where is your go-to place for finding images? What keywords works well? I'm using just free sources most of the time, Unsplash, and I try to find images that don't have a lot of elements inside the image, one or two, so it's easy to place the text with the image, and there is a lot of white space. I'm using other places like Icon 8, one of a really good library for images as well. We have other question like, will the recorded video will be available? Yeah, sure. It will be on my YouTube channel. I will make sure to do that there. We have a question about typography, about fonts, like an early question. Does sans serif consider in neutral? Yes, sans serif, most of them are neutral. You can use them if you want to, to, to convey that feeling of neutral. I think these are the questions we have. We can continue. Can you please share the link to the presentation after this session? Yes, of course, I will make sure to do that. Now let's talk about shape and form. So one of the decision also we make whenever we are designing something is include the shape and form. Should I make a circle? Should I make a rectangle? Should I make it, I don't know, the rounded corners, or any kind of decision that's involved in this. So I have one rule that I can share with you, and you can see this post in my Instagram, which involved this a small game that shows you how our senses are connected and the communication between them, how we can use that in order to make the decision. And this study are made to show us this. We have two shape, and one of them is Kiki, one of them is Buba, and almost all the people said that Kiki is this right shape, and Buba Kiki is the left shape, and Buba is the right shape. Uh, what that means is that our senses are cross connected, and our brain form links between the shapes, the sounds, and the taste. And we should use that as well in our design in order to communicate the shape we want, and like it will be perceived for the people as the right thing. So we have the rounded shape as Buba, perceived as friendly and harmless, and most of the time it's used by a friendly brand. You can use like in your logo a rounded shape, and the bold or something like bubble here, and they use their button is had a lot of rounded corner, and their typeface is rounded. So if you want to achieve something friendly and harmless, you can use this. You can use the boba shape, and that will be a really good decision from you. And if you want to use something that's professional and strong, you can use something with the corner, a typeface with the corner, and also your logo with the corner. And any decision you make should be like the Kiki shape. And we can see a lot of examples here. Like this is the landing page of Microsoft, and you can see that they are using in their like in their logo. It's like a Kiki shape. You can see in the button, it's a Kiki shape. Almost every time something like a rectangle shape. Why they do that? They want to see them as a professional brand, and not as a friendly as something harmless. So we have this another example, and you can see here it's friendly, it's harmless, from only the shape used. The icon, we have a rounded shape, the button, almost every element, the images has like this rounded shape. So every decision that involves the shape of the elements, they are using like the same rule. I want to convey a friendly and harmless shape. What are the type of shape that can communicate that in a good way is the rounded elements, and this is what you see here in the font. In every element used here, it's surrounded, and it's rounded shape basically. So as an exercise, you can take something you already designed. I'll also write the purpose of the design. I want, because every time I ask you to write the purpose of the design, you should be aware of what you are designing. You should be clear of the thing that you want to communicate. And after that, you ask yourself about the forms and shape. Does it align with the brand? Does it align with the feeling that you want to convey? And if not, how you can fix that. Most of the time, you have two choice. I don't know if there is more choices. Um, and you can see what are the things that you want to communicate based on that. I don't know if we have any other question. Uh, does the rule of 45-75 character apply to text on websites, on desktops? Yes, the rule of text, it should be applied on every place. Yeah, and that's why when you are reading an article in the Medium, despite that they have a lot of space, they use only a small space. That's why they want only to use a number of characters, because it's easy for the people to continue reading with this number of character inside each line. So you should be like in this rule, and it will give you a really good result. So this is the rule for the shape. It should be aligned. It should align the decision with the way our brain perceives things. With the rounded is something friendly and harmless. With the rectangle shape is something that strong, that sometimes very professional. So we can talk also about the copy. Whenever I'm talking about something, um, there is a lot of decisions involved. And as I said, design is all about making decisions. If you can make really good decisions in each one of these items, in images, in font, in typography, in space, in size, in all these elements, the result will be a really good design that like speaks the same purpose we want from it. So for copy, like whenever we are designing anything, there is the copy involved. What are the sentences I should add? How I should write them in order to communicate very well. So whenever I'm designing anything, I'm using just this rule, is that I should write like a person and not like a robot. And most of the website that we don't feel the communication between them is that they are almost like talking as a robot, and they don't talk as a person. And people like when other people talk to them, and not like giving them only what they should do. So you should write the way you talk as well. Most of the time, we use some really hard word for the people to understand. I highly recommend to use only the word that's easy for almost all the people to understand. So just write the way you talk, so people can feel that there is something like from the text, some real people that are talking, and not always just text alone. And most of the people like to speak like to them and not to speak about them. And this is one of a really great rule. You shouldn't like speak to people, but you should speak to people and not to speak about them. And we can have some of the example here, like in an app design. We have two options, like to say that the card is empty. We can say the card is empty or your card is empty. uh, so this is a better way to say it. You are speaking to the people and not speaking about something, and this is what you should do. Should talk to them and not to talk about them. And this is what you should do whenever you are designing anything. A carousel, a poster, a website design, an app design. This is what I'm using also in my carousel. I'm trying to build conversation and not presentation. I'm involving the readers as one of the factor of my story. Like, so you walked into a coffee shop. So when you are reading, you feel like I'm talking to you, not only about you. Let's play a game. And you can use that by using almost all the time the word you, your, let's. So this word are like has the power to build the communication between you and the people that are using your design. So remember, you should speak to people and not about them, and you should change the way you write the copy in order to achieve that. Uh, we have also another thing, the layouts, and there's a lot of decisions that's involved in layouts, and we can talk about them. With the layouts, I highly recommend to keep things like tied together. Whenever we are designing anything, the layout is the sum of all the elements that are inside. And in with this element, there is a lot of communication involved. The way we use space, the way we use the sizes and color. But you should make this element like tied together by trying to find this kind of relationship between all of them, so you can make your design very solid and easy to uh, to browse and navigate. So every element needs to be tied to another element of the layout. It shouldn't be alone. It should be a kind of relationship between one of the other elements. And I can show you that while using this example. Like I have this element and I want to create one of my carousel like based on that. So one of the options that I have is that maybe I can place my tag here and then the text here and then the image here. Here you can see that no element like tied to any other element. This element is aligned to the left, but there is no relationship between it or any other element. It's not aligned with this tag. It's not aligned with the image. There is no element. So you shouldn't do something like this. You should create relationship in your layout in order to be really good. You can do something like this. This element and this element are aligned to the left, and they have this acts like as an element in which they are aligned to. And the way I laid the cat is that it has a relationship with the size of the text and the tag, and that helped me create a really good result. You see it as a balanced layout, but here the element is all over the place. There is no like relationship between each of the elements here. So this is one of the really good rule if you want to like achieve a really good result in your design. You should find the relationship, how you can make the sum of your elements as one element, so it's easy to browse from the people. I have many other things like with a poster design. I have this element here. I try to make it tied to the car and then to the text here. And that helps me achieve a really solid lives here. I have another like design. We have this text and then this text. If you can see that this text is aligned to the left, which makes it like had this axe with this side of the shape, and this element is has this side, mm, the same as the side of this shape. So this communication like makes the light very strong and very good looking light. So you should tie things together in order to create a really good light. Let's see if we have any question about that. That's the okay. We have always some. We don't have any new one. I think, guys, this is the last one. This is the last item of my decision making items. We talked about copy, we talked about space, we talked about color, font, typography. We talked about almost every element, also images. So if you can take these rules and try to apply them to your design, I believe you can make a really good result. While doing also the exercise, you take some of something you already designed, try to think about the decision you are making and how you can solve that. And you should remember that design is all about making decision, all we do is only decision in everything we do in design, and every type of design. This is what we do. We have a purpose in mind. We do the decision in order to create something that's aligned with the purpose we want to achieve. And it's easy. You should just learn how you make the right decision, and boom, you can have a really good design. But design is not how you make things, but why. When you make a decision, you should be clear on why you make the decision. What are the reasons? And you should be very confident on why you make them. Most of the people learn only how to do things, uh, uh, and they repeat that in every design they do. You should learn about the reasons, and you should use this mindset in order to create your design. And stop saying wow, because most of the people, when they see a new design, a really good looking design, they see wow. Try to think of it gives you that feeling, and how you can create that feeling in your design. And most of the time, this type of thinking is what can make you a really good designer. You should just to dig deep. You should just to reflect on the decision made by other designer, and how you can add that to your design. And there is no way you can be a good designer unless you are doing a lot of bad design. You can see how I started a really really bad design, but I, I I I had the chance to do a lot of bad design, because we all born bad designers, and we should have the chance to do a lot of bad design in order to make a really good design. There is a part of practice. You make a lot of bad design, you think about the decision you make. There is a lot of part of learning. You should know why you make the decision you are making. Here we go, we finish with the presentation. We have 15 minutes. We can have a question if you want. I don't know if there is any new question here. uh, I don't know. I think there is no question here. Uh, Guys, let me know what you think of the presentation. And if you have any question, I will be really happy to answer any question. How to make a within typography clear? I can't understand what. Thank you for the session. I would like to correct with design here. Let me check this. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. I have an old comment about the card is empty. He said that your card is empty seems kind of sadder. I don't think so. I don't think so. Please make sure, guys, to submit the question in the question field. Let me check this link. Okay, we have a good design, but by uh, Prakriti. Yeah, if I'm pronouncing the name really good. Can you? Okay, I can. Can you jump here, Malik? Can you raise your hand? I would like to show your design, and we can talk. with it, about it. Okay. Hello, Malik. How are you doing? Can you hear me? Hello.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm doing really good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let me just share my screen. Okay. Okay, share. And here, where is it? Yeah, here is the design. Can you see your design?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, let me know what is the design is about, what is the purpose, and maybe what is the challenge you have.
So I always struggle with colors, like what to, like if I'm making any app or a website, like what colors should I choose? So
Mhm.
was a security app, so I chose the color blue because a lot of banks use blue to invoke a
Yeah,
sense of security and to make it look professional.
yes, I think you are doing really great. You are trying to think about the reference of your color. You said that's almost uh, like it's attached with something uh, like with the security with the company. Most of the company like use this color like LinkedIn, Twitter. So this is the kind of reference that I'm looking for. You are not making the choice only like that, but you are thinking why you make this. And I think the color choice is good. uh, Maybe you want to achieve something very professional, something that's safe. That's what I'm getting from the color, and that shows that the decision you made is good. So
Oh,
always, whenever you are creating a new design, as you do with this, you want to create something safe, something professional. Try to think what are the maybe the product that's already achieved the same feeling. And as you said, you see some of the other company using blue. So this is a really good choice.
okay, thank you. Just wanted to get it reviewed by you.
Sure. Also, I have here like you are communicating with the size. You are making this a little bit big, which is good. And we have the button is a little bit big. I should see the button as well. Uh, One of the things that's maybe bother me here is that the space a little bit is not good. You should not make it because the amount of space between this element is 42, and maybe with this I can't do that because this element is not including also this. So what I want to say here is that I'm not sure this element is creating a group with this or with this.
Got it.
So I believe it should be create a group with this, and this should be for both of them, and it should be close a little bit to this, and this element will be a little bit far in order to create that white space between it and the other element in order for our eyes to see it really easily. So this element should be a little bit close to this, maybe 24, and this element to this should be maybe the same as here, like 40 element.
Like this. Uh,
I don't know, just 40?
okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
Sure, great, thank you. Do we have any new question? Okay, 5 questions we need to ask ourselves before we start the design process. This question is from Kim. Uh, I think it's not only 5 questions. because before we design anything, we should have a discovery session with the stakeholder. We should have, if you can do interview with some of the actual users or the future users that will be using the app. What I recommend is ask whatever you want, because when we are just starting a design, we are as a designer full of assumption, and you need to ask any question in order to move these assumptions to reality. Maybe I think that users who will like this color, you should be really sure that this is the right color that you are using. And you can know that if you are not asking the people, if you are not reflecting on that, you think maybe I think this is the task, the really important task in this design. I should be should make it really clear. You can know that if you are not asking the people, if you are not giving them something to use in order to make sure that this is the right thing. So you should ask as many questions, but one of the questions that some questions are better than other question. The why question is really good. Why you want to make a design, why you want to make a website, why you want to add this part to your website, and try just to listen to this. You should have a reason on the decision you are making to your design that's aligned with the thing that your stakeholder or your client wants, their business purpose or goals with the design you are making. So ask as you want, and as I said, question some questions are better than other question. The why question is good. I don't know if we have any other question. We already have only 5 minutes. Uh, I would like if you can do. We have also some exercises here. It's bad that we don't have a lot of time to go through all of them. Have an exercise, uh, the same like study like a pro, and all I want from you is to try to think of your design, try to study it, try to learn from it. You take something you already design, you write all the you write the purpose of the design first, and after that you write all the decision you made in this design, in color, in shape, in space, and then after that write the reasons why you make this amount of space between these elements, why you choose the red color, why you choose this image, why you choose this shape. Write all of this decision and their reasons, and ask yourself, "Mm, does this do this decisions like I made aligned with the purpose of the design?" And based on the answer, try to change, try to fix your design. This is one of the things you can do in order to study your design, to learn from it, and to improve yourself in design. Another thing is that uh, apart from studying your work, you should be able to copy from the best designer. And I do this a lot of time. I take someone design something maybe that I'm not capable of doing, like an amazing app with the transition, with the interaction, and then try to think about the purpose of the design, why the designer make this design. And I also write all the decisions that's involved in this design. He chose the color here, a shape here, a text, a particular font here. I write all of this, and then I think of the reason why he chose that. And after that, I try to remake all the design. Pixel by pixel, I'm making the same decision that the designer make. What I learned from that is that I expand my vocabulary. I know why the decisions are made by the designer, and I'm learning a lot from just copying the same decision made by the designer. And then after that, you can think about how you can change the decisions in order to keep the same purpose, the same results. And we can do that with a lot of method. You can choose the decision and you keep the purpose. This is a really good exercise you can do to copy from the thing you like from the designer you admire. We have also the design like a pro. What you do is that you design a new thing with a new purpose, and you make many versions of different decisions. Like in this version I choose the red color, and this is why. In this version I choose an elegant font, and then you make a new version with different decisions, and try to see which one is aligned with the purpose that I have in mind with this design. And you can share it with other people and open conversation based on that, and believe me, you'll learn a lot of things from this. So I have three exercises for you, and I have a lot of exercise in each item of the presentation. If you can do that, that will be really good. You can share with me the results and I will be happy to give you my feedback. So with this, I think uh, I finished this presentation. uh, we have 1 minute left. It's weird. Thank you so much, guys. I will make sure to share with you the presentation. I will share it in the comments here as well. Let me just do that. Okay, let's go back to the first slide. That's a lot of slide. And here is the presentation. I really admire the fact that you stay here. I really appreciate this and hope you learned something. If you do, make sure to send me something. I like the presentation. This is why I like the presentation, and maybe how I can improve myself. This is my first webinar. I would like to improve myself in order to teach better in a better way. I really appreciate you being here, guys, and hope I can see you in another time. Uh, and thank you so much. Thank you so much, and see you in another time. Bye bye.